ladies and gentlemen. Today we welcome a distinguished voice from Kerala whose words span across poetry, memoir, prose, and scholarly discourse. Jyothy Sreedhar, Assistant Professor of English at Sree Vidyadhiraja NSS College, Vazhoor, is a bilingual poet, prose writer, academic author, and a dynamic presence in the world of contemporary literature. Her creative journey has gifted us works such as the poetry collection Yes, You're Audible, the Malayalam memoir Ichirikkadhakal, the poetry of love Kili Maram Pacha, and most recently, the groundbreaking book Thank DoG, an extraordinary autopathographic memoir jointly written with her doctor, Dr. Matthew K.M. Putidom. This book, inspired by her own accident and recovery, has already entered literary history with 3 world records and global accolades. Now, with the second edition of Thank DoG being published under the banner of Writers International Edition, her voice reaches further into the international literary sphere, carrying with it a story of resilience, healing, and the profound relationship between patient and physician. Alongside her creative achievements, Jyothy has contributed scholarly works such as Ink and Insights, Interdisciplinary Discourses in Health Humanities, and has inspired thousands through her vibrant presence on social media. Her journey is one of creative courage and conviction. It is my honor to welcome to our program the acclaimed writer and academic, Jyothy Sreedhar. Jyothy, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Irene.
To begin, could you share with us how your journey as a bilingual poet and academic writer has evolved over the years?
Yes, my introduction as a writer happened through social media, specifically Facebook. In 2009 March, I had a bed rest following a surgery. And during that time of boredom, I thought of signing up for something to omit my boredom. So this thing was there as a writer. I used to scribble something in my diary always, and I thought of speaking to the world. So that was the time when I signed up for Facebook. I started writing that what's on my mind column, and I started filling up with whatever came to me, all the emotions that was recollected in tranquility. So I started writing on Facebook, and somehow I gained so much of followers on Facebook. Then in 2020, when the COVID lockdown happened, I had much time to spend for writing, to sit down for writing. That was a time when my friends asked me, why not publish a book? Because you have written so much on Facebook. You have written so much in your diary too. You have written poems. So I thought, yes, it is time to publish. And I just called some random publishers. I took some numbers and just called up randomly. And some publishers spoke to me about only about the packages. And I was just so frustrated because I thought I'll not be publishing anytime. And that was the time when I got into Ivory Books. Sanita ma'am was in charge of Ivory Books that time, and she spoke to me very wholeheartedly. And she spoke to me, yes, you can publish as a new writer. We are welcoming you to the world of literature. And that was the time when I got a collection of my Malayalam love poetry. She told that it will be a perfect beginning for you, that collecting the Malayalam love poetry that you have scribbled on Facebook. And thus was born Kili Maram Pacha, my first book, which was a collection of Malayalam love poetry. I promised to myself that I'll be publishing 1 book each year. That was just a promise to myself. And the next year, of course, yes, I had written so much of English poetry by that time. I thought of collecting that too. And thus came Yes, You're Audible, along with a Malayalam memoir, Ichirikkadhakal too. But to my surprise, Yes, You're Audible gained so much of popularity. And in the following year, I gained some awards, accolades for Yes, You're Audible too. It was kind of a dream for me. And I thought, yes, I feel confident that I can be a writer in this world of literature. And then, as you know, it is 2025. I had an accident. 2024, I had an accident, and in 2025, I published a book about that. It was a memoir, and which speak about my accident and the consequent surgery and my treatment and so on. So these two books, Thank Dog in Malayalam and English, both became a groundbreaking works because this was the first time when a doctor-patient duo happened. And this was the first time that a medical memoir, which was written by a doctor and patient, happened in world literature. So we thought of applying for world records too, and we got 3 world records till date for Thank Dog. That's it.
Congratulations. An
Thank you.
amazing journey, I have to say. Well, your second edition of Thank Dog is now being published by Writers International Edition. What does this new chapter mean for you? And how do you envision this edition connecting with readers across cultures?
Okay, the first edition of Thank Dog, I hadn't dreamt that it will be going so far. So many Instagrammers or bookstagrammers, they asked me about Thank Dog. They started reviewing the book, which was already available on Amazon Kindle. So I thought it had an international kind of scope. But still, I wanted some more time to feel confident that it has such an international scope. And thus, when the records happened and we got another award too, and I thought, yes, it is time to enter that international run, you know. So I thought that world international edition should be there for Thank Dog. So second edition of Thank Dog happened in that way, and you Writers International Edition approved of the idea, and I'm very happy that it will be presented internationally. It will be reaching to a global audience and also to a number of people across who are waiting to get the book. So that's it.
Absolutely. Really, this is one important thing for the book to go on an international level, and so many people are going to talk about it and read it and hold it close to their hearts. So,
Especially during the problem, it was despite being on Amazon and Flipkart or such selling sites, it ran out of copies. So it was kind of
brilliant.
confident. Yeah, so this time it will be on Amazon and Flipkart and to an international audience too.
Imagine, actually, we're going to invite you here to Athens, and we are really looking forward to having you among us in our beautiful events that we are organizing with Writers Capital Foundation. Each year we have the Global Vision Summit, and of course, we would be happy and honored to have you among us this June or July. We're going to talk about the actual dates when it's going to happen. But of course, you are going to be one of the people that are going to be invited as a VIP guest. So imagine.
Great. Yeah, it's a dream come true. It is not actually a dream even. I have dared to see such a dream. To be invited to Athens for a literary kind of program. So thank you very much for that.
Beautiful. We're really looking forward to that, truly. Now, I have another question for you about the same book, of course, Thank Dog, which is the first ever medical memoir, that, like we said, co-written by a patient and a doctor. How did this pioneering collaboration take shape, and what was it like to narrate a shared experience, but from two different perspectives?
That happened as an accident too, because following the accident, I was lying on the operation bed when my surgeon was singing and doing the surgery. So that time I thought this was something very special and the surgery should not end any time. I was just enjoying that surgery like anything. And that time I thought, yes, I should write about this because this is something very much unique. And I thought, I wondered how many persons would get such an experience about a surgery. They'll be experiencing a surgery as a very bad thing or kind of ill fate. But this was a very beautiful or kind of heavenly experience for me, to be very frank. So after that, I thought of writing about it. I wrote it and thought that, yes, this has a scope for a book. I started writing the book too. All I wrote was thank dog, just as some kind of intuition. Nothing about I was not sitting to get that idea of thank dog, the title, but it just came to me. I just wrote it. That was the very first line I wrote about a book. So I started from that thank dog only. So I wanted an afterword for the book. I approached my doctor, my surgeon who did the surgery, and he said, yes, okay, I can write an afterword, no problem. And he had no idea of how what an afterword was. He started writing about his experiences of this thing, and it went on like chapters and chapters and pages. So I thought, yes, I should not stop. Let him write, let him flow his experience of the surgery. And then he gave me 16 chapters of that afterward. And then I spoke to my publisher, Ivory Books. They told me that it has to be made to two different parts of the same book. So that was how we thought of merging two perspectives of the same accident and the same treatment. And when we merge two parts or two perspectives, of course, my doctor would become a kind of co-author to me. So that was how Dr. Matthew K.M. Pudidam was born as a writer here, as my co-author of Thank Dog. That happened as an accident only. It was not kind of pre-planned or something. It came to me just as the accident happened.
It's like they say that nothing is actually an accident in our lives. It's probably a spark that triggers something for us to go further, higher, etc. So imagine that this particular accident, in quotation marks, after all, led you to a book that has already earned world records and international recognition. But on a personal level, talking to Jyothy as a writer, how did writing and revisiting this difficult journey, of course, transform you as both a writer and an individual?
I wonder whether you trust or not. I actually approached this with a lot of thrill. In each stage after the accident, it was kind of a thrill for me. I have to get over this hurdle. And for this, I have literature in my hands. I believe in scriptotherapy. Scriptotherapy means you find therapy with writing. And there is bibliotherapy also, where you find a therapy in reading. So I believe in scriptotherapy. I used to write my thoughts, my hurdles, my emotional overflow and all. It was actually a tough time, of course, regarding my physicality, but the physiotherapy went intact. And during doing all this physiotherapy, I'll be thinking about what I should write about this. So, this was the way I, as a writer, encountered that patient named Jyothy. So, this going like a kind of blend, it was very beautiful for me. If that patient was not there, this writer would not be there. And if this writer was not there, this beautiful patient will not be there. So it just went hand in hand. And thank dog was born. I'm very glad for it. Every stage after the accident was beautiful for me. It was thrilling. It was hell of a ride for me. Very joyous ride, in fact.
So it's like a blessing in disguise, you could call it, right? After all.
Exactly. It is my favorite incident that has happened in my life. It is not an accident. Yeah.
So true. But Jyothy, you have authored across genres, poetry, memoir, academic essays. How do you decide which form best suits the story or idea you want to convey? How do you decide
Okay.
that?
I'm very poor in fiction. I cannot write a short story or cannot create a new character or imagine their dialogues or their kind of characterization. I always write from my heart and what I see around. So, regarding the poems and all, I when I experience some emotional heights, I always think about writing only. So when I go through a very terrible incident like this, I think about a book. This is the way I am. So it is not like fixing a genre or consciously putting this into words. It just come to me as this Thank Dog, the title came to me.
Absolutely beautiful. With over
Yeah.
2.15 thousand followers, your voice resonates strongly on social media. How does this digital literary community influence your writing and its reach?
I'm very much thankful to Facebook, especially Mark Zuckerberg, all my followers and all, because they used to always ask me to publish my book and collect all my writings to a website. And whatever they said, I have always obeyed in my life, to be frank. So I started a blog, I started a website, which is jyothysreedhar.com. Then later, as per their advice, I started to write as a book or become a published author. So my first book is even officially dedicated to Facebook only. This is the way they influence me because they always keep that writer in me alive and very much active.
Quite true, yes. And so, resilience, love, and reflection are themes central to your writing. How did your accident and recovery deepen your understanding of these themes?
Um, when there is an accident, there is always an overcoming. If winter comes, can spring be far behind? So that is the way I always believe. I believe in the universe because it has something very magical for you in every step. When some hurdle come to you in the next step, it will be something the most that happens as the most beautiful thing in your life. So before Thank Dog and after Thank Dog, Jyothy Sreedhar is split into two kinds of character or two kinds of writer. So before Thank Dog, I always think that I was kind of normal writer. And after Thank Dog, I could make something that is unique, or I could contribute something to world literature even. So when this accident happens, there is always that resilience. And when this resilience happens, there is always a literature that is waiting at its end. So that way, I always believe in the power of universe.
So true, my dear. You're so right. And I will go back to the book. The title, Thank Dog, is striking, at once playful and yet profound. Could you share the story behind this choice and the significance it holds for you?
Okay, I clearly remember the way I wrote Thank Dog. And it is even included in the book Thank Dog, the way I wrote it in my paper. On December 3rd, 2024, as I rejoined my college after all this surgery and my medical leave, I sat on my office chair, and then there was a diary which I always used to keep and used to scribble something. And then I opened that diary, which I had been missing for a long, and I started writing something there. The first line that came into my mind was Thank Dog, as I've already mentioned. And Thank Dog, I was staring at the words Thank Dog. Why I wrote like D capital and G capital? It is like the dog came as a god for me because God comes in different forms. It is believed so. And I thought that this dog was the god of that time. And if that dog hadn't come to my life, I would not have written Thank Dog, or I would have not written such a groundbreaking book in any time in my life. That I'm sure about. So that way, thank DoG, the title came. And I thought of capitalizing the D and G for the same purpose, for the same reason too. It is playful and very consciously planned. Yes.
Wonderful. And that is why at the beginning of our interview, I also stressed out the letters so that we can keep this really playful title in our minds without the whole, within the whole interview. Now, how did your being an English professor, together with being a research scholar of illness narratives, influence the process of writing Thank DoG?
Okay. For a layman, Thank DoG appears as something, a very normal memoir. But when I had studied English literature for so long, and I am also a part time research scholar of illness narratives in health humanities too. So I am very much used to reading the kinds of illness narratives, the patient's narratives, the doctor's narratives, different kinds of. Even I was so influenced with whole calamities when breath becomes air too. So all these things were in my mind when the accident happened. And after the accident happened, all this came as a base for me to write this illness narrative from my own life. So I have experimented a lot with the narrative style of the book. I have included interludes, like I'll be straightly addressing the readers, like, dear readers, this is so, and this is so. So my co-author too wrote in that style. So we included interludes in the book, and also the part three, which is completely WhatsApp chat, merging the two perspectives of the accident. So the narrative style, and towards the end of my co-author's portion, it is written as, here I begin my chapter of Thank DoG. This is the way we end the book. So all these kinds of like paradoxes and ironies and all these kinds of narrative techniques were incorporated in the book with full confidence, because I myself am a research scholar. I have been learning, studying, I have been researching a lot with the narrative techniques of illness narratives, and that was the time when the accident happened, thankfully. So I contributed all my knowledge to writing Thank DoG too. So this way, it is not a normal memoir. It became a unique one. Yeah.
Yes, a truly transformative experience that led to an innovation in writing. Really
Thank
groundbreaking.
you.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
one more question from me. As someone equally invested in creative and scholarly writing, how do you view literature's role in the growing field of health humanities?
Oh, yeah. Health humanities. I always think that health humanities cannot survive without literature. Literature and medicine should go hand in hand, because I already mentioned the power of scriptotherapy and bibliotherapy. If there was no literature, if there was no reading, if there was no writing, how I would have survived after that accident? That accident would have been terrible on me. But since all this literature, the power of literature is with me, it became a beautiful thing. It transformed me as a person, as a writer, and evolved a new thing out of all this terrible luck, bad luck. Others call it a bad luck, and I call it as the best thing that has happened in my life. So, health humanities, there should be that health humanities, the power of health humanities in every medical practitioner, because every doctor consider a patient as an object, like this bed, that patient with this thing. They are not considering the emotions of a patient. So when they have to address a patient, they should consider the patient as a subject with a subjective viewpoint too. That patient should come all together with their emotions too. For that, the patient's experiences do wonders. When doctors read about the patient's narratives, they'll think about how the other end experiences this particular illness. It is not about a doctor, it is all about a patient when it comes to illness. So this health humanities gives so much of awareness for the medical practitioners, and you can see that in Paul Kalanithi's When Breath Becomes Air, because Paul Kalanithi was a neurosurgeon who became a cancer patient later, and he speaks volumes about his like transformation from a doctor to a patient physician, and how literature came into his life, uh, making him evolve to being so accommodative towards the patients too. So this kind of accommodative outlook that will be gifted by literature and also health humanities.
A truly inspiring book, actually, and really transformative, not just for patients, fellow patients that might find this particular story, uh, being touched by the story and becoming emotional, and this will actually change their lives later on. But you are actually changing the lives and the course of work also of doctors. So uh, this is a really impressive thing that you have done, my dear Jyothy, and I really congratulate you for that. And not just me, I think that the whole literary community will give you accolades, and not only the ones that you have already got, you're going to get so many more now that you're going so broadly international. I'm really positive about that. And since you've done so many things, my dear, finally, what lies ahead? Could you share with us any upcoming works or projects that continue your journey of weaving together the personal, poetic, and academic dimensions of writing?
Okay, one poetry book, an English poetry book, is already in my mind, and I'll be titling that as Joyful Verses, which will be joyful verses too, with a play. And that will be my next book after Thank Dog. That is for sure. And another academic book is also in my mind, which always comes with, it is going to come with some traces of health humanities too. So these two books already is in my mind, and hopefully everything will happen as accidents happen, as all these unexpected things happen in my life. Yeah, it is always for good. So let it be for
Always for
good.
good. You're so
Yeah,
right. Always for good. Because there are good luck charms in our lives coming at different times when we do not expect, yes? Or when we least
thank
expect.
you.
This is
Exactly.
for sure. How
Yeah,
wonderful. So, really, really thankful for this beautiful conversation, dear Jyoti. And also, I'm sure that all our viewers are going to also love what you said and will keep in their hearts all your special messages about resilience, hope, and faith in themselves, that even little things that, or maybe bigger things that come into our lives and stir up things are really for the better. Yes. Thank you for
yes,
up your heart.
everything happens for good, and let everything happens good for the world too. And let us do our small part for gifting some good to the world too. In the name of literature, we always join hands for making the world a better place for everyone to live. Thank you very much, and it was very great interacting with you, Irene. Thank you very much for a beautiful session too. Thank
Thank you.
you,
It has been
writer.
really
Captain.
insightful. And to
Yeah.
me, a great honor having you here in our podcast series, Meet the Legends, because you're already a legend. And this book is going to go into everybody's house, a bookcase, and also within their hearts, because it has this beautiful message inside. Thank you so much.
Thank
Go
you very much.
bye.